This morning, man arrested and interrogated without being told of his Fifth Amendment's rights sparked big controversy. My name's Connor Dusterberg.
I'm Chloe G.
And I'm Chloe Frickhoffer with your Channel 5 News.
On March 13, 1963, Ernesto Miranda was arrested in his home by the Phoenix Police Department. He was charged with the kidnapping and rape of an 18-year-old woman, which occurred on March 3, 1963, 10 days earlier. After 2 hours of interrogation, Miranda signed a confession to rape charges that read, "I do hereby swear that I make this statement voluntarily and of my own free will, with no threats, coercion, or promises of immunity, and with full knowledge of my legal rights, understanding any statement that I may make be used against me." However, before this confession, Miranda was not told of his right to remain silent or that his statements may be used against him in court. The confession was then presented in front of a jury, and Miranda was found guilty of kidnapping and rape and was sentenced to 20 to 30 years of prison under Arizona's state court. Miranda was also tried on Arizona's Supreme Court, which upheld the conviction. On appeal, the Supreme Court of Arizona held that Miranda's constitutional rights were not violated when obtaining the confession. This case was then taken
Sorry
to
to
the
cut you
Supreme
short,
Court.
Chloe, but this just in. We have a video of Miranda taking a woman from her friends and Miranda getting arrested by police earlier this year. Take a look.
Well, the court is in session, and we have a reporter there right now. Maya?
Hello, Chloe? Yes, I'm here at the courthouse right now. The verdict should be out any time now. The case was argued February 28th, March 1st, and March 2nd. And that sounds crazy because it is now June 13th, but that is just when the decision is being made. Oh, here it comes now. Not guilty. The case ruling was 5-4, majority wins. This concluded that the defendant's interrogation violated the Fifth Amendment. The majority explained that the authorities were required to warn the defendant that during his questioning he had the right to remain silent and that anything he said was able to be used against him in court, which are all properties of the Fifth Amendment. That's all the info I have here. Back to Connor and Chloe in the studio.
Oh, thank you, Maya. In case you missed it, the case ruling was 5-4. Chief Justice Earl Warren, along with Justice Black, Douglas, Brennan, and Fortas, were a part of the majority group. They said, quote, "The prosecution may not use statements whether exculpatory or inculpatory stemming from custodial interrogation of the defendant unless it demonstrates the..." This quote shows that Miranda should have been made aware of his Fifth Amendment rights. Chief Justice Earl Warren orders that any information said by the defendant is not to be used in the prosecution in order to protect the Fifth Amendment right of the defendant. The dissenting quote was written by Justice Harlan and begins the dissent section with, quote, "I believe the decision of the court represents poor constitutional law and entails harmful consequences for the country at large," end quote. He is explaining that this decision affects everyone and this decision is a danger to society because it takes away the reasonable powers of the police to interrogate a suspect.
That's all we have today, folks. Thank you for watching Channel 5 News. 44 years later. 44 years later, and we are now seeing the impacts of the Arizona versus Miranda case. I'm Connor Dusterberg.
And I'm Maya Solomon.
After winning the Supreme Court case, Ernesto Miranda ended up being tried again through the state of Arizona. He ended up guilty and was given a 20-year sentence. Just because Miranda won the Supreme Court case, he was still eligible to be tried again, this time without using his confession statement. Miranda lost the case and served 12 years in prison. After Miranda was released, he ended up getting stabbed to death. Miranda died in 1976.
Such a sad story. But this case has helped determine other cases, just like the 2002 United States v. Kim. There was a store owned by Kim that was selling large amounts of a chemical used in methamphetamine. She and her son were locked in their store, and they were questioned by several officials and never made aware of their Fifth Amendment. Because of cases like Miranda v. Arizona, it was easier for the court to make a decision. A similar case was in 2001, when a woman at a post office was accused of stealing. This woman then went into an interview where she was locked in a room like she was in custody and interrogated by 2 investigators. She never once received Miranda warning, making any claims that she made invalid, partly because of the ruling of the Miranda v. Arizona case.
Not only has Miranda versus Arizona had an impact on just those cases, it had a great impact on citizens of the United States. Officers are now required to give you what is called your Miranda rights. The full statement is, quote, "You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a Supreme Court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be provided for you. Do you understand these rights I have just read to you? With these rights in mind, do you wish to speak to me?" End quote. These rights are crucial to a person's innocence because they allow you to plead the fifth, or in other words, avoid self-incrimination. These words can help determine a person's innocence by just simply staying silent. Miranda rights also offer you an attorney, saying that one will be provided. These rights can reassure a person's knowledge of the Fifth Amendment, so people can know their rights. Next time you hear, "You have the right to remain silent," whether being around an arrest or hearing it on a TV show, understand how the rights came to be and how these rights protect people in the U.S. every day. Thank you for watching Channel 5 News. I'm Connor Dusterberg.